Welcome to Travel On. Today I'm showing you 20 of my favorite places to visit in Europe. I think there's a few places here that just might surprise you, so stick around. The cities on this list are places where you can return to again and again and always find something new to discover or rediscover. So come along and let me show you the places that keep calling me back. Ready? Let's get to it. Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona is a feast for the senses. You can begin your day at the Boqueria market with the aroma of fresh fruit and say goodnight under the sunset sky at the Sagrada Familia. You know, for a building that is still unfinished after more than 150 years, to stand and witness this masterpiece firsthand is awe-inspiring. Day or night, it doesn't matter, and there is always more to explore in the surrounding areas. Barcelona was founded in the Roman era, and there are places in the Gothic quarter where you can still find traces of the ancient walls. And Park Güell looks like a kaleidoscope exploded into real life. Labyrinths of alleys, the noise of street musicians, the taste of jamón, and the sound of the surf. Everything in Barcelona is at the same time real and dreamlike. If you haven't been, it really needs to be on your list. Prague, Czech Republic. Prague is a city where time is frozen. Towers, bridges, cobblestones. It's hard not to feel like you're in a fairy tale. Charles Bridge is like a time warp over the Vltava, where sculptures seem to pray to the silence. Here's a fun fact. The bridge stands on a solid foundation reinforced with eggs mixed into the mortar. In the Old Town, the Orloj counts every moment of history, not realizing that every second it makes history. Orloj, which means clock, is the Prague astronomical clock, the third oldest astronomical clock, but the oldest that is still working, having been installed in 1410. Sunsets are the true celebrities here, and the castle on the hill sits quietly like a crown on the head of Prague, royal and mighty. Evening street lamps give the city an amber glow, so nightly walks are recommended and best shared with friends. Sintra, Portugal. I loved Sintra's colors, the ocean blues and forest greens dotted with palaces that add their own mix to the palette. Sintra has been a favorite summer resort of Portuguese kings since the 15th century. The Palau de Peña is a mixture of neo-Gothic, Moorish, and fantasy. Its colorful towers definitely stand out from a cloudy backdrop. In the gardens below, you'll find stone paths, streams, and secret grottos where you can smell the Atlantic scent of salt and sea. Everything in Sintra reminds you that this was built for another time. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. It really does help the algorithm push my video out to a wider audience. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Amsterdam is a surprisingly beautiful city. Without mountains or dramatic cliffs, it relies on its canals to be a reflection of the city's soul. Bicycles are everywhere, seemingly saying, hurry up, but take your time getting there. In the 17th century, Amsterdam was the world's largest trading port and the capital of a maritime empire. The bridges connect not only the city, but also eras, from the Golden Age to the present day, and all this under the canopy of tulips, fragrant cheeses, and the spirit of freedom. Especially moving is the Anne Frank house, the actual home where she hid during World War II. Dubrovnik, Croatia. Our next location is no stranger to fame. Dubrovnik sits on the Adriatic coast with walls that wrap the old city, as if embracing it with a protective hug. From the fortress above, you can see terracotta roofs, the azure sea, and the busy harbor. The polished tiles can be your guide past shops and vendors as they have been for centuries. It's a nice way to spend an afternoon. In 1667, the city survived a devastating earthquake, but was rebuilt with the same charm. During the day, there is the smell of the sea and oranges, the ringing of bells, and the lazy splash of water at the pier. At night, there is silence, broken only by footsteps on the ancient pavement and the soft hum of the ocean breeze. History is not forgotten here. Locals live it in every window, in every glance. It was not for nothing that this was called the Pearl of the Adriatic. Cappadocia, Turkey. Cappadocia is unique, like otherworldly unique. Rocky valleys with bizarre rock formations, underground cities, and cave churches are just a few of the things you'll see almost nowhere else. The underground cities of Cappadocia go 8 levels deep and used to serve as a refuge from conquerors. Christian monks have lived here since the 4th century, leaving behind hundreds of cave temples. At dawn, the sky can be filled with hot air balloons, so you're surrounded by visual wonders both above and below. Take time to explore the Red Valley, go into a house carved into the rock, or be like a balloon and see where the wind takes you. And at night, the stars seem closer than anywhere else on Earth. Edinburgh, Scotland. The first time I visited Edinburgh, I was more fascinated by the history than the buildings. It wasn't until subsequent visits that I began to look at the architecture and see how everything makes for a collected whole experience. The castle has been standing since the 9th century and guards the crown of Scotland. The Royal Mile leading to the castle is a wonderful walk through the ages. Edinburgh was the birthplace of such minds as Walter Scott and Arthur Conan Doyle. It's hard not to be drawn into this city, the sounds of a violinist in the street, the walls of ancient pubs, the glances of passers-by. Don't forget Arthur's Hills for an unprecedented view of Gothic spires, golden light, and endless spaces. Bergen and the Fjords, Norway. Across the North Sea is Norway, where we'll find Bergen, which used to be the capital of Norway in the 13th century. The water is a lifeline here, and they work hard to keep it that way. There's a section of the city here called Bergen, which consists mainly of wooden houses down by the water. Bergen has been around since the 1300s. The mountains come right up to the city, and the fjords are pathways leading to the heart of nature. In the morning, silver light and the hum of seagulls. During the day, green slopes, waterfalls, and boats gliding along the smooth water. In the evening, the city lights up like a magical city under the northern sky. I wish more cities could be like Bergen. It's proud and unpretentious at the same time. Santorini, Greece. Snow-white houses, blue domes, and an endless sea, as though painted by the hand of a master artist. The cliffs going into the sea and the twisted streets are filled with light, the scent of lavender, and the ringing of bells. A volcanic eruption in the 16th century BC destroyed the ancient civilization of Akrotiri, now known as the Greek Pompeii, and possibly inspired the legend of the lost city of Atlantis. Sunset in Ia is a spectacle. People freeze, watch the sun sink into the Aegean Sea, and applaud. Wine, laughter, a light breeze, everything flows more slowly here, like in the Sirtaki dance. Rothenburg ob der Tauber, Germany. Rothenburg ob der Tauber is lost in time. Towers, half-timbered houses, street lamps, everything here preserves the atmosphere of the Middle Ages. Narrow streets wind past blooming balconies, stalls with Christmas toys, and cafes smelling of strudel and mulled wine. In the 16th century, Rothenburg was one of the richest cities in Franconia, but after the 30 Years' War, it was preserved in time. In the central square, the clock strikes the time, as if warning, take your time. Here, every turn is a postcard, and every corner is a stage. From the city walls, a view of red roofs, the Tauber River, and green hills opens before you. The city survived World War II thanks to an American officer who was struck by its beauty and refused to destroy it. Budapest, Hungary. Budapest really is a tale of two cities. Buda, with its castles and hills, and Pest, with its boulevards, thermal baths, and lights. The parliament towers over everything, almost sitting on the waves of the Danube. United into one single city in 1873, the bridges connect the Roman past to Art Nouveau. Things to try are the baths, inhaling the aroma of Hungarian paprika, walking along avenues under the arches of linden trees, or explore the largest system of geothermal caves in Europe. In the evening, you gotta take a walk along the river or across a bridge, if only to catch the light reflecting in the water below. Innsbruck, Austria. When you get to Innsbruck, you just know it is different. There are few places where the mountains push in on the city center like they do here. The slopes are perfect year-round, whether for skiing in winter or hiking in summer. The streets are lined with Baroque architecture, Gothic spires, and a golden sky sparkling above the old town. Here, the ancient buildings intertwine with modern galleries, and pedestrian streets lead to the mountains. There are several cable cars that you can take up to different places in the mountains in a matter of minutes. One of the lines will take you up to the Bergen ski jump, where the views are absolutely amazing. If you're afraid of heights, like me, then it can be a bit scary, but I'm glad I pushed past that because it was so worth it. Bled, Slovenia. The little town of Bled appears on many of my lists, so it's no surprise it's one of my favorite places in Europe. Bled Island in the center of the lake is home to the Church of the Assumption of Mary, which is only reached by wooden boats called pletna. Get yourself a comfortable spot and listen for the church bell. Above the lake is Bled Castle, and if you think it's impressive from below, just wait until you see it up close. First mentioned 1,500 years ago, it's considered the oldest castle in Slovenia. In the morning, fog spreads across the water, and in the evening, golden reflections. It can take your breath away, leaving you silent with your thoughts. And that's not bad at all. I love the peace I feel after a visit here. Seville, Spain. Our next stop is in the heart of Andalusia. Seville's courtyards are filled with orange trees. The streets are filled with music and its walls reflect the light in an amber glow. The Alcazar is mind-boggling in its detail, and overlooking the cathedral is La Giralda. Seville is home to the largest Gothic cathedral in the world, where Christopher Columbus is buried. You won't find any place where flamenco is danced more passionately than here. Seville seems to live off emotions, the smell of jasmine, a stranger's smile, and the soft tapping of heels on cobblestone. When evening comes, grab a glass of wine, visit with some friends, and see where the night takes you. Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon is a light, beautiful city with the smell of an Atlantic breeze and the sounds of Tram 28 rolling up narrow alleys. Down on the shores of the Tagus River, visit the Belgium Tower, where the expeditions of Vasco da Gama and other sailors of the golden age of geographical discoveries began. Do some of your own exploring. like to the Lisbon Cathedral, officially known as the Cathedral of St. Mary Major, or through the streets of the Alfama district where fado music was born. Lisbon was almost completely rebuilt after an earthquake and tsunami in 1755. I guess the spirit of adventure lives on in Lisbon, as every time I visit, I want to search out places I've never been. I like that I can take my time and save some places for next time. And there will be a next time. Rome, Italy. I proposed to my wife in Rome, so of course it was going to be on my list of favorite places. The art and architecture alone in and around St. Peter's Square and Basilica is enough to justify a trip to Rome. But there is more. Plan on spending a good part of one day at the Colosseum breathing in history, and the Pantheon is equally impressive with the largest dome without reinforcement in history. While there, pay respects to Raphael and other notable figures who are laid to rest within. Narrow streets open into plazas where you can meet your friends on the Spanish Steps. Rome seems to encourage these moments of laughter and good food, where restaurants and cafes seem to pop up down desolate streets. After dinner, order a glass of limoncello, for digestion, of course, to experience a meal true to the heart of the Italian soul. Bruges, Belgium. A friend of mine in Belgium said he doesn't like going to Bruges because of all the tourists. But if you go at the right time, you can escape all of that. Enjoy the beauty as it has been for hundreds of years, and chocolate so good you may buy more than you probably should. Carriages pass along cobbled streets to the sounds of hooves in this medieval city that was once one of the largest trading centers in Europe. The Belfry of Bruges, a medieval bell tower built in the 13th century, is only 366 steps to some of the region's finest views. But the classic beauty of the old brick buildings reflecting in the water of the canals is where you will find your own sense of what Bruges really is. Venice, Italy. With new tourist regulations in place, Venice is quickly becoming a favorite place again, so you can enjoy the city where water replaces streets and bridges build communities. Everything here floats quietly, light, sound, and time. St. Mark's Square echoes with the sound of seagulls and cathedral bells. Learn a few words of Italian and you may be greatly rewarded for your effort. As a great maritime republic, Venice once controlled the most important trade routes of the Mediterranean. It's easy to forget that this massive city is built on ancient piles driven deep into the lagoon floor. The Rialto Bridge, the water lapping against the boats, the smell of the sea and coffee, everything combines into an Italian song. You might not know the words, but you know its meaning. Paris, France. Paris is the kind of city where mornings smell like baguettes and evenings like romance. The Eiffel Tower is usually your first stop, but make time for the artists in Montmartre. The Louvre alone can keep you busy for days, and that's if you hurry. Paris was founded by the Celtic tribe of Parisi in the 3rd century BC. On the banks of the Seine, people read books and kiss. In the alleys, accordions sound. On the terraces, people drink wine and discuss life. Paris does not look into the camera lens, but lets the viewer choose the moment. Did you know the Eiffel Tower, built for the World Exhibition of 1889, initially caused a storm of criticism and was supposed to be temporary, but has remained here since becoming a symbol of the City of Lights? Porto, Portugal. Porto was a city with a sailor's soul and a poet's heart. Its colorful houses cascading down to the Douro River seem to create a mosaic of history. Narrow streets lead up and down to wine cellars and bridges stretched over the river like guitar strings. Porto was so special, it gave its name to the entire country of Portugal. The Riviera Promenade is bustling with life and the sounds of fado. And in the glasses, port wine. Port wine production began here in the 17th century, and to this day the most prestigious wine cellars are located on the opposite bank, in Villanova de Gaia. In the evening, the city lights up in the reflections of the water and in the eyes of those who fall in love with Porto. And that's it. Thanks for watching. If you think I missed something, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what your favorite places in Europe are, or anywhere around the world for that matter. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and all that good YouTube stuff. I hope you liked the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, stay safe and travel on.